Have you ever thought about why some people wake up calm, focused, and ready to go, while others drag through the day feeling tired and defeated? The key isn't to work harder, it's what happens when you sleep. Your mind and body are learning, healing, and changing you every night, but only if you know how to use this power. You'll learn 10 essential lessons in this video that will make your life better when you sleep. These aren't just advice. They are timeless tactics backed by Stoic wisdom and modern research that will help you control your emotions, change your subconscious, and plant the seeds of success and clarity. Stay tuned, because at the conclusion of this video, you'll realize that sleep isn't just a waste of time. It's the best way to grow, get stronger, and change. The last things you think about before bed are not little things. They are seeds. They don't stay still like any other seed. They sprout, take root, and change how you perceive the world the next day. What you think about in the last few minutes before you go to sleep sets the tone for your subconscious, which functions while you sleep. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, says, "The soul takes on the color of its thoughts." Take a moment to think about that. Your soul, your character, your temperament, and even your outlook are all stained by the thoughts you let stay, just like fabric that has been dipped in dye. If you think about bitterness, regret, or dread right before bed, you are basically putting your mind in a dark dye that will color your whole night and most of the next morning. This is why the Stoics thought it was so important to think about things at night. Seneca wrote about how he looked back on the day every night. He wondered, what bad habit did you fix today? Which flaw did you fight against? What makes you better? This wasn't a way to punish yourself. It was a way to program yourself. He was growing seeds of self-control in his mind by reciting morality before going to sleep. Imagine that your mind is a stage. The thoughts you let take center stage before bed don't go away when you fall asleep. They remain acting for an audience that isn't there in your mind. If you go to bed angry, the performers will keep playing in the dark, and bitterness will be the main theme of your nightmares and subconscious rehearsals. But if you choose to be thankful, peaceful, or even just think about something good, it becomes the play your mind watches all night. What the Stoics did is now backed up by modern research. Neuroscience demonstrates that sleep helps you remember things better and makes the neural circuits that were most recently used stronger. That means that as you sleep, the brain physically goes over and enhances the thoughts and feelings you had just before you went to sleep. Think about how different it would be for someone to spend their last 10 minutes online reading disputes and noise instead of journaling, visualizing, or reading wisdom. One wakes up feeling restless and unfocused. The other wakes up feeling peaceful and in charge. The Stoics would call this the discipline of choice, which is deciding what you let into your mind. You can't control the environment, but you can control the thoughts you have before you go to sleep. Epictetus said it best, "What happens to you doesn't matter, how you react to it does." And your ideas at night are really reactions. You have your subconscious ready to react strongly the next day by making the right choice. What can you do then? Take a few minutes to think before you close your eyes. Write down what you did well, what you could have done better, and one good thing you intend to do tomorrow. Or just say to yourself, "Tomorrow I will be calm. I will be patient tomorrow. Tomorrow I will live by logic." These aren't just words, they're practice for your mind. And when you sleep, your subconscious mind takes them seriously and makes them part of who you are. You have a choice tonight. You can give your mind chaos or order. You can practice being weak or strong. Keep in mind that the last voice you hear each night isn't the world's. It's not the news, social media, or what other people think. It belongs to you. That voice will resonate all night long, subtly preparing you for the life you will lead tomorrow. If you plan wisely, sleep will become your best teacher without you knowing it. Seneca said, "The soul takes shape in the stillness of quiet." Most individuals don't realize that the deepest growth doesn't come in noise, confusion, or constant activity. It happens silently and without anyone noticing, like a seed that cracks open underground long before its first green stem breaks through the dirt. When you close your eyes at night, your body goes into this secret workshop where it grows. Muscles get better. Hormones get back to normal. The immune system gets stronger. Even the tiniest injuries in your cells start to heal. This quiet mending doesn't make a big deal out of itself, but by morning, you're different, stronger, more resilient, and ready for the day. The same goes for the brain. Your brain sifts through the cacophony of the day while you sleep, determining which memories to keep and which to throw away. It links bits of knowledge together to make patterns of understanding that you could never make on purpose while you're awake. This is why answers to difficulties typically emerge in the morning or after a good night's sleep. Growth is happening in the quiet, when it goes unnoticed, but is really important. But the world often tricks us into thinking that moving all the time means making progress. The world argues that if you're not grinding, hustling, or chasing, you're slipping behind. The Stoics were aware that this was a perilous delusion. Marcus Aurelius said to himself, "There is no place more peaceful and free of interruptions than your own soul." He knew that being quiet and motionless isn't a waste of time. It's the best way to nurture the soul. It's a basic paradox. The more noise and force you use to try to expand, the more it slides away. Real progress doesn't yell, it whispers. It works in the background, under the noise and below the surface. It changes nearly without anyone noticing, like the seasons do. This reality is best shown by sleep. People don't praise you for going to bed early. No one cheers as your body heals or your mind goes through memories. But over weeks, months, and years, this quiet process produces a strong, clear, and resilient base. This is the kind of progress that can't be rushed. You can only trust it. Seneca repeatedly urged people not to be restless, which means they are always looking for commotion and never stop. He said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." In other words, if you're continually moving and distracted, you're never really there for the important moments. Sleep reminds us of the opposite truth, that sometimes the best way to move forward is to be still. So what should you learn from this? That stillness is not empty, it is full of fixing, a lot of rebalancing. With growth that you can't see, you get smarter, stronger, and more capable. You are not squandering time when you embrace stillness and cherish your rest. You are putting money into the most significant unseen change in your life. Growth doesn't always make noise. It talks in quiet at times. And every night, while you sleep, your spirit takes shape. Epictetus stated, "First tell yourself what you want to be, and then do what you need to do." These lines show a basic but important truth. Success doesn't just happen when the sun rises. It starts to happen the night before. The hours before bed are not wasted time. They are a springboard. Think about how two persons are different. One goes to bed with a messy room, a buzzing phone full of distractions, no plans for the next day, and a head full of problems that need to be solved. The other person spends a few minutes to get ready. He cleans up his area, puts down his top priorities, thinks about what matters most, and makes a plan for how he will live tomorrow. They both sleep through the night, but one wakes up confused, whereas the other wakes up clear-headed. The results are very different, but the only thing that changed was the discipline of the evening. The Stoics knew that what happens now is always setting up what will happen later. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." Before you go to bed, if you think about order, thankfulness, and purpose, you are changing the quality of tomorrow's life before it even starts. This is why many smart people have bedtime routines. Seneca said that every night he looked back on his day and thought over his actions as if he were in a courtroom. He wasn't just thinking about the past, he was getting ready for the future. He was making plans for the next day. This ceremony isn't about being perfect, it's about finding your way. It's like saying, "This is who I want to be when I wake up." There is also a practical side to this. Neuroscience demonstrates that your brain keeps working on your goals while you sleep if you write them down before bed. The brain never stops. It sorts, organizes, and practices. By morning, those priorities seem more natural and less stressful, and the first solutions often start to show up. Your mind is already getting you ready for success while you sleep. But here's the important thing. Big gestures don't usually lead to success. It is made up of gradual, consistent steps of becoming ready. Putting your clothes out, clearing your desk, and writing down the first thing you need to do tomorrow may seem small, but they are signs. You are telling yourself, "I am ready. I am purposeful. I won't just let life happen to me, I'll guide it." Epictetus would have said that this is in line with nature, for existence itself promotes discipline and order. You get rid of friction when you get ready. You stop wasting energy. You let your mind rest from small choices so it can focus on what's really important. That's why most great days start with successful evenings. So, keep this in mind. The discipline you show tonight will pay off tomorrow. Don't wait till morning to decide who you are if you want to rise with clarity, act with strength, and live with purpose. Make a choice before you go to bed. Setting a compass should be the last thing you do each night. Your subconscious mind will already be guiding you in that way as you sleep. Because the sun doesn't rise until tomorrow. It starts tonight with the small decisions you make before you go to sleep. Sleep is the best way to even out your feelings. Marcus Aurelius said, "Take a break. A field that has rested gives a lot of crops." This simple saying holds deep wisdom. Like a field that needs to lie fallow to regain its fertility, your mind needs to rest to regain clarity and calmness. Sleep calms the storm inside you after a long day of rage, disappointment, or worry. Think about how often you wake up in the morning and see things from a different angle. Arguments that appeared impossible to deal with get smaller, fears that seemed like they would crush you go away, and obligations that were too heavy for you to carry seem lighter. This isn't luck, it's the job of the night. Sleep makes it possible to separate stimuli from reaction. In waking life, emotions hit right away, causing impulse, reaction, and regret. But at night, the mind sorts through things, puts them in order, and gets away from the intensity. Epictetus stressed the importance of this mental detachment by saying, "It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you respond to it." Sleep automatically offers you that space. It helps you think clearly instead of just feeling strongly about something. It teaches one of the hardest realities in life, that no feeling, no matter how strong it seems, will last forever. At 10 p.m., things seem like they will never get better, but at 6 a.m., they seem like they will be okay. The biological aspect corroborates this Stoic principle. The amygdala is the portion of the brain that controls fear and emotional reactivity. During deep sleep, the brain slows down activity in this area. At the same time, it makes the connections to the prefrontal cortex stronger. This is the region of the brain that makes decisions and reasons. To put it another way, your brain really rewires itself as you sleep so that it can better deal with emotional problems. Seneca said that time is important when dealing with emotions. We suffer more often in our minds than in real life. Sleeping is a natural way to fight this urge. When you give your mind a break, it differentiates what is really important from what simply appeared urgent or dangerous. In the quiet of the morning, everything becomes clear again, and chaos gives way to peace. This procedure also teaches patience, which is a virtue that the Stoics valued. Life tests us all the time, but we frequently see things more clearly when we look back. Sleep makes you look back on your day in small ways. By morning, yesterday's troubles have gone through a filter that you can't see, providing you insight, calmness, and sometimes even answers. So, the lesson is this: don't give up when you feel overwhelmed, tired, or emotionally drained. The night is not a waste of time. It's your mind's way of healing, resetting, and getting you ready to face the world with steadiness. Tomorrow, your reactions won't be the same wild, primal impulses as now. Your mind will have worked quietly while you rested, and that will help you stay calm and focused. Accept this beat. Let sleep teach you how to be patient, see things from other points of view, and keep your cool. And don't forget that the problems that appear so big now may look very different in the morning light. That is the wisdom of rest, the quiet instructor that changes your emotional environment without you knowing it. A lot of individuals spend their evenings trying to force solutions, going through infinite amounts of material, or going over problems in their heads over and over again. They work themselves to death because they think that greater work means better results. But the Stoics knew better. Seneca said we should give our minds a break. This wasn't being lazy, it was smart. He recognized that real clarity comes from letting go, not from pressing harder. Remember when you spent all day trying to figure something out, and then the next morning you woke up with the answer in your head? That is not a coincidence. Your subconscious was busy while you slept. It sorted through bits of information, linked up thoughts that weren't related, and looked at options in ways that your conscious mind couldn't. Sleep changes disorder into order and perplexity into understanding. Marcus Aurelius regularly told himself that the intellect is a tool, not a master. Don't let your thoughts take over. Let reason guide them. Reason works silently in the background at night when the conscious mind is at slumber. Your subconscious mind puts together experiences, memories, and observations to find patterns that show you how to solve problems. Stress and frenetic work won't provide you the clarity you want. Instead, you need to be patient, rest, and trust the process. Epictetus even said that being detached is important for addressing difficulties. He stated, "What matters is not what happens to you, but how you react to it." Rest helps you respond better. When your mind is tired and pushed, your reactions are emotional and not clear. But after sleep, responses are intentional, calculated, and informed by logic. This Stoic idea is in line with modern neuroscience. Research indicates that throughout sleep, especially during REM periods, the brain fortifies neuronal connections and restructures information. Issues that were impossible to solve while you were awake can suddenly seem clear following a good night's sleep. Even when you give in to sleep, your brain keeps working. This shows that effort alone won't let you see things clearly. You need to be still and think strategically. This rule works for more than just fixing problems. When you're tired, stressed, or upset, you don't usually make excellent decisions. The Stoics understood the importance of pausing, thinking, and letting things come back into focus. Sleep is the best way to take a break. Every night, you can step back, let go, and let things become clear on their own. The lesson is simple but deep. When you're stuck, overwhelmed, or angry, trying to force a solution typically makes things worse. Take a break, step back, and let your mind function quietly. Believe that calmness, not strife, will bring you clarity. This way, the night is not only a time to rest your body, but also a time to get cerebral insight. It's like a workshop where you solve your hardest problems without you realizing it. In other words, the best answers don't always come when you look for them. Sometimes they arrive when you let your mind rest. Sleep isn't just a time to rest. It's your hidden strategist, working behind the scenes to help you learn and gain insight while the world sleeps. Sleep urges you to give up every night. You can't control the world while you're sleeping. You let go of your grip on deadlines, problems, and fears. You give the day's problems to the hours that are yet to come. Epictetus said, "The only good thing in life is freedom. It is achieved by ignoring things that we cannot control." Sleep is a wonderful example of this idea. It makes you let go of things you can't alter and let your body and mind heal themselves, whether you want to or not. When you're angry or sad, it's hard to sleep. When you fight the natural process of letting go, the stress builds. But when you give up, even a little, you let your nervous system rest, your thoughts calm down, and your feelings settle. Peace, like a gentle shadow, fills the void left by letting go. Marcus Aurelius often told himself how important it was to be detached. You have power over your mind, not over things that happen outside of it. If you understand this, you will discover strength. Every day, sleep is a form of this discipline. You practice a kind of mental and emotional control when you give up control for a few hours. You remind yourself that not everything needs your help, that some problems will work themselves out, and that you should save your energy for what really matters. Seneca noted that numerous individuals endure unnecessary suffering due to their attachment to outcomes, individuals, and events beyond their control. He wrote, "We suffer more in our minds than in real life." Sleep is a natural cure. You teach your mind that serenity isn't based on what happens by letting go every night. It's something you build via release. Giving up is not a sign of weakness. It is smart. There is also a physiological fact here. Letting go lowers blood pressure, lowers stress hormones, and gets the body ready for sleep that will help it heal. Your mind and body are very closely linked. When your thoughts let go of control, your body follows and goes into deep cycles of healing and regeneration. This is why sleep is more than just relaxing. It changes you. The lesson goes on after the night. Every time you let go of control when you sleep, you get better at letting go when you're up. You discover that holding on causes stress, anger, and pain that isn't needed, while letting go helps you see things more clearly, stay focused, and be strong. Epictetus would term this aligning with nature, which means knowing that there are some things we can't control, and that true freedom comes from accepting that. So as you get ready to go to sleep tonight, remember that letting go is a sign of strength, not weakness. Put the day behind you. Let go of your worries. Let go of what you can't control. Let your body and mind fall into their natural rhythm. By doing this, you are learning one of the most important facts in life. Letting go brings calm, and letting go is the way to knowledge. By doing this every night, you train both your mind and your spirit. You learn that peace is not the absence of problems, but the ability to let go. Sleep, in its own peaceful way, teaches us the most important things about control, freedom, and peace of mind. The things you say to yourself before bed become the script your mind follows. Every night, Marcus Aurelius would remind himself of duty, virtue, and reason. He knew that talking to yourself over and over again is more than just thinking about things. It's how you build your character. Like clay, your mind is shaped by the last thoughts you have before you go to sleep. Think of your mind as a theater and your subconscious as the people who are watching. The last things you say, the stories you tell yourself, and the pictures you see before bed are all part of the act. Your subconscious mind doesn't judge or argue. It takes in, practices, and combines. When you say affirmations of courage, patience, and self-discipline over and over, those attributes become habits that you can do without thinking about it. On the other hand, if you talk to yourself in a way that is full of doubt, fear, or self-criticism, you are teaching your subconscious to believe that limits are real. Seneca stressed this idea when he said, "We are always complaining that our days are few and acting as if there will be no end to them. We make the most of our limited time by focusing on the correct thoughts before bed. This doesn't make us weaker, it makes us stronger." Sleep is a natural amplifier. It takes what you give it and makes it bigger. Think about the science behind it. While you sleep, your brain builds the neural circuits that are linked to concepts and behaviors that you just practiced. When you intentionally focus your last thoughts on growth, gratitude, and purpose, your mind rehearses these scripts all night. It puts the pieces of your day together, puts the things that fit with your goals at the top of the list, and adds lessons that can change how you act tomorrow. Sleep literally changes your mental practice into character growth. Epictetus would inform us that we are in charge of the stories we tell ourselves. Men are not upset by things, but by the way they see them. It doesn't matter if you think about your anxieties or your true strengths. Your subconscious will take in what you show it over and over again. That's why the last thoughts you have at night are stronger than any advice, criticism, or praise you get from other people. They are hidden, yet they are having a big impact on you. This principle can be used in real life. Talk to yourself on purpose for a few minutes before bed. Think about what you believe in. Reaffirm what you're good at. Picture yourself calmly facing problems. Say basic mantras over and over that help you be patient, brave, and focused. Your subconscious won't argue. It will take in, process, and quietly get you ready to act in line with these values when dawn comes. It's evident that the voice within your head is the most powerful one you'll hear. Use your words wisely. Think of your nightly self-talk as a sacred ritual that gives you power. This is when the things you say to yourself become habits, behaviors, and even your character. Sleep is not something you do passively. It is a watchful teacher, an unseen architect of character, and a gentle guide that hears every word you say to yourself. If you treat it well, it will give you strength, courage, and clarity in return. One night of sleep may help your body, mind, and mood, but it is regularity that really changes you. A single night of good sleep is a short-term benefit. A consistent routine of controlled slumber is what makes you strong, clear-headed, and resilient. Seneca wisely said, "It's not that we don't have much time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." The same goes for sleep. Squandered nights add up, whereas disciplined nights build up strength, focus, and health. Think about the difference between two people. One sleeps at odd times, stays up late, wakes up at strange times, and doesn't pay attention to his body's rhythms. The other person sticks to a normal sleep schedule, which helps his mind and body fully recharge each night. The advantages of consistency become clear over time. The second individual wakes up with a clearer mind, more vitality, and more emotional strength. This is the hidden power of doing the same thing over and over, precisely like the Stoics said to do to become virtuous. Marcus Aurelius worked on his character by doing modest things every day. He knew that greatness isn't something that happens all at once. It takes time and effort to build. The similar thing happens while you sleep. Every night of discipline helps your body get the rhythms it needs to work at its best. It makes it easier for you to control your feelings, think more clearly, and stay focused. To gain strength, you should work out your body every day. To strengthen your mind and spirit, you should get enough sleep every night. Having a regular sleep schedule also helps you be more disciplined in other parts of your life. You are educating yourself to act with intention when you promise to go to bed at a respectable hour. Resist distractions and let your body rest. This discipline carries over into real life. You make better choices, don't act on impulse, and develop a mentality that lives on structure. Epictetus remarked, "A man is not free if he is not in charge of himself." Being in charge of your sleep means being in charge of yourself. What the Stoics did hundreds of years ago is now backed up by modern science. Getting enough sleep every night helps your memory, your mood, and your immune system. It makes the brain connections that help you learn and solve problems stronger. When you get enough sleep on these nights, the effects build up over time and change both your body and your thinking. The lesson is clear. Don't underestimate how strong modest, repeated actions may be. Discipline in sleep may not seem like a big deal compared to everything else you have to do every day, yet it is one of the best ways to build enduring strength. Like a stone carefully placed every day makes a sturdy wall, a disciplined night makes your mind and body strong enough to handle life's problems. So follow the Stoic way. Respect your rhythms, take breaks, and work on being consistent. When you make a commitment to rest regularly, you're doing more than just sleeping. You're getting stronger, clearer, and more resilient, which will help you in many areas of your life. One of the hardest lessons in life is to be patient. Sleep is a gentle teacher that comes every night. You can't make someone relax. You can only let them. Marcus Aurelius said to himself, "No great thing is made all at once, just like a bunch of grapes or a fig." This simple statement is really true. Just like a fruit needs time to ripen, wisdom, character, and insight take time to grow. You can't rush, pressure, or force them. They grow in the quiet, hidden spaces of life, often when we don't even know it. This idea is perfectly shown by sleep. As the world slows down and the darkness stretches each night, the body fixes itself, the brain stores memories, and the subconscious sorts through experiences. You can't rush any of this. None of it reacts to stress or fear. But change happens when you rest patiently. The day's teachings sink in silently, and new ideas come to mind. The next day starts with a clarity that would have been impossible without this invisible work. Seneca often thought about how slowly virtue and wisdom grow. He said, "Time reveals truth," which stressed that understanding builds up over time through repeated experiences, reflection, and endurance. Sleep follows this normal pattern. It reminds us that we can't evolve mentally, emotionally, or morally all at once or in one day. Like crafting a monument out of a block of marble, true wisdom is gained slowly over time. Patience is also the cure for anger. How many times have we wanted quick answers or quick fixes, only to end ourselves tired and stressed out? Time, distance, and silence are friends when you sleep. What appears important tonight usually gets better by morning. Anger fades, clarity returns, and comprehension grows. We practice the same kind of patience that knowledge requires when we give in to the rhythm of night. Epictetus supported this idea in his teachings by saying, "Difficulties are things that show a person what he is." Sleep gives the mind a chance to deal with problems without having to react right away. This gives you a new way of looking at things that you can't get when you're awake. The patient mind detects patterns, puts lessons together, and comes out better able to make smart decisions. The night is, in a way, a natural place for virtue, thought, and insight to grow. The lesson goes well beyond just resting. Life often tests our patience. Everything happens slowly, from relationships to job to personal progress. You learn to value timing in all areas of life by recognizing the quiet, methodical processes of sleep. You learn that trying to speed things up, push things, or rush things can frequently lead to mistakes, irritation, or an imbalance. As sleep shows, trusting the process is important for gaining enduring wisdom. So, when you get ready for bed, remember this truth. The mind that waits is not doing nothing, it is learning. The body that rests is not feeble, it is getting stronger. The soul that gives into darkness is not losing, it is growing. Sleep teaches us to trust time, to value patience, and to realize that the deepest change is often slow and not always evident. You are quietly practicing one of life's greatest qualities by learning this lesson every night. You are discovering that you can't force someone to be wise. You can only help them grow by trusting the natural rhythms of life. Every night is the end. Every morning is a new beginning. Seneca said, "Start living right away and think of each day as a new life." These lines remind us that time isn't just a river that flows onward. It's a series of chances, resets, and new beginnings. This is true of sleep. The day is over when you close your eyes. The night takes away failures, disappointments, and regrets. The day ahead is what matters today. It is blank and ready for the decisions you make. Marcus Aurelius thought about how life doesn't last forever in a similar way. He said that every morning is a chance to do the right thing, think clearly, and follow your highest values. Sleep gives your mind a new viewpoint every night. It reminds you that mistakes don't last forever, worries don't last forever, and you can't undo the past. However, what you do today can influence the future. The subconscious also takes part in this daily renewal. It processes experiences, puts together lessons, and combines the knowledge you have gained while you sleep. When dawn comes, your mind isn't only refreshed, it's also restructured, better able to handle problems, and clearer and more able to make decisions. So, sleep is not something that happens to you. It is something that helps you grow and prepares you to be stronger every day. Epictetus put it best when he said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Live it." Every morning is a chance to put what you learned the night before into practice. You don't have to bring the mistakes you made yesterday into today. You wake up with a clean slate and the chance to act with patience, courage, discipline, and knowledge. This is the most powerful thing about sleep. It lets you start over with purpose. This concept is easy to put into practice, but it has a big impact. Let go of yesterday before you go to sleep. Let go of any doubts you may still have, forgive yourself for your mistakes, and think about what you want to do tomorrow. When you wake up in the morning, see the day as a new chance to live on purpose. Treat every activity, conversation, and choice as if it were a new life beginning to unfold. The past has done its job. Now it's your turn to decide what happens next. So, sleep is not merely a break from life. Every night, it is a ceremony of renewal, a sign from nature that every end can lead to a new beginning. You learn to live in the now, act with purpose, see each day as a gift by following this pattern. So when you get ready to sleep tonight, keep in mind that every day you wake up is a blank canvas. The problems, fears, and failures of yesterday are gone. Your choices, discipline, and actions will determine what happens today. Sleep is like a reset button for your body and mind. It gets you ready for growth and helps you live each day as if it were a fresh life. When you wake up tomorrow, do it with purpose, clarity, and thankfulness. Let the lessons of sleep, patience, rest, detachment, and reflection guide you in everything you do. Every day is a new start, a chance to live according to your highest values, and a chance to become a stronger, smarter, and more resilient version of yourself. You are not doing nothing while you sleep. Your mind processes what you give it, your body heals, your emotions reset, and your spirit is renewed. The Stoics understood that life is formed not only during moments of movement, but also during periods of silence. Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus all tell us that we grow when we think about things, not when we speed through them. Sleep is that time at night when you think about things, like a silent teacher whispering lessons into your soul. Accept it, and you will see that the way to wisdom, peace, and strength is developed not just in the hours you are up, but also in the hours you sleep.